Hey, Jasmine here, and welcome to another book review. Today I'm going to talk about indie author Allison Miller's sci-fi mystery, Braxley. First, as always, I'm going to read the plot description. Scorned by the realization his isn't his biologically, Braxley Tomlinson makes a move to take Sasha away from her lying mother. Things go awry when he's chased into an alternate dimension by an active shooter. Trapped under a dome for a period of no less than 5 years, Braxley finds any way he can to get back to his daughter on the other side. This book I honestly liked more than I thought I would. At first the writing felt a little too disconnected. The opening chapter is the moment Braxley learns that he is infertile, which makes him realize that his daughter is not his biologically. As I read his next actions, his voice felt very monotone. I didn't get the sense that his character was all that fazed by the knowledge that his wife had cheated on him, and he very quickly makes decision after decision like it's simple. He announces he's taking their daughter away, decides he'll take her to his parents' house, but that he needs to go to work first. As the description says, on his way he is chased by a shooter and finds himself in an alternate reality. Once again, I was confused by how the character didn't seem to react at all to anything thrown at him. I'm so used to emotional characters that as he was told he was in an alternate reality where he would have to serve a 5-year sentence, I think I was expecting more confusion, anger, frustration, anything really, but Braxley simply took all this new information in stride and proceeded. Only short mentions reminding the reader that he did in fact want to go home. Luckily, as the story switched to the perspective of his daughter Sasha, I became more interested. Sasha is, I believe, 10 years old, and in her chapters, the story follows her as she learns to cope with the trauma of believing she was abandoned by Braxley and deal with her now physically abusive mother. As her story progressed, I started to take an interest in the book. It still sometimes felt too staged, but I started to get attached to Sasha and the characters around her, wanting them to be happy. Sasha's story was great, but when the story would return to Braxley, I would get confused all over again. The story with Braxley was intriguing. I just felt the world building and the technology in alternate reality needed to be more fleshed out. New machines, rules, and characters kept getting thrown my way, and in the end I didn't have a clear picture of Braxley or the alternate dimension he was imprisoned in. The characters around him felt interchangeable, and I'd wished I was able to get more information about them to develop their personalities. I think a big part of it was that the timeline stretched over multiple years, and although Sasha's story progression felt natural, Braxley's felt like it was more rushed to keep his story in line with Sasha's. Although I didn't connect with the sci-fi element of the story, I did connect with Sasha's story enough where reading this book was actually really enjoyable and didn't feel like a chore to finish. If the author were to revisit the book and maybe release some kind of special edition or extended version, I would reread it immediately. It's because of that my personal rating for this book is 2 stars, because I really did love Sasha's story, but not enough to reread this book. Well, that's a wrap on my March TBR list. I'm going to release a wrap-up video talking about my experience reading all 5 books, followed by an April TBR list video. But I will say the next book I'm reading is the first Game of Thrones book by George R.R. Martin. I've had this on my list for years, and I'm finally reading it. And I say this as someone who didn't watch the show and was never really interested in it. I may have not wanted to watch it, but I did really want to read it, and now it's time. Hopefully I can manage to finish it on time and stay on schedule. If you're an indie author, tell me about your book in the comments and I'll add it to my list. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye!